Welcome to Thought Cops, coming to you live from the mean streets of Neo Chicago. I am Officer Kevin.
And I'm Officer Grant, wishing all the Chicagoans a happy Dave Matthews Band shitting the bridge day.
It's a big deal here.
It's a big deal. We're celebrating. It's 19th anniversary of Dave Matthews accidentally spilling 800 pounds of human excrement onto an unsuspecting tourism boat.
How much shit? How long do you think the shit was sitting in the tour bus for the 800 pounds?
Too long.
That's a lot.
Too long.
I think there's a lot of logistics we got to break down here, because how long are you supposed to, or how often are you supposed to empty that out? Because if say we were on tour, I would have no idea. But I would definitely make sure that it wouldn't fall out on a boat of people.
Well, it was the driver,
over a bridge.
The tour bus driver that just saw the grates on the bridge and just went, no.
Oh, it was intentional?
No one will notice. It was intentional, yeah.
Oh my God.
Wait, so they literally did what Homer Simpson did in the Simpsons movie and just dumped it out on the lake?
Yeah, it was a huge inspiration.
Bunch of pig crap.
3 years prior, yeah.
And with us today is Jab 50 Yen. How's it going, Jab? Happy to have you back.
That was quite an introduction. Thank you. I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, I know
Welcome.
This you're not from Chicago, but this is, something we do take quite seriously here, is the anniversary of the Dave Matthews Band bridge shitting incident.
Gee, I had no idea. I didn't even know an entire plane, let alone a little bus, could handle 800 pounds of shit.
Yeah, I would I wonder what that looked like. Just as you look up and see 800 pounds of human feces falling on top
I did a
of you.
recreation video of that one time. I took one of the riverboat tours, and as we went under the bridge, I made sure to get a shot of it as we're going underneath. And then I made a video for TikTok,
I thought you were about
Dave,
to say.
Dave walking
you
across
recreated
the bridge.
it.
I saved 8,000 pounds of shit. Personally, I saved 8,000 pounds to recreate this.
Yeah, we did that. Zwick helped. Got a lot of poo saved up.
Yeah.
The first thing I thought
it was actually all Zwick. It was mostly Zwick. He's full of shit.
I remember there was this movie that came out with Robin Williams called RV. And to this day, it traumatized me because there was a whole 15-minute uninterrupted scene where the shit tank in the RV was backed up. And it was just full uninterrupted scenes of him trying to empty it, and it kept exploding on him. And I'm just this is a kid's movie, and I'm seeing Robin Williams with feces all over his lips, all over his face.
Ew.
And they're showing it in such detail, and I'm why did they show this for children? I remember seeing a whole bunch of moms running out of the theater when this happens, and I'm surprised no one talks about that at all. Probably because everyone wanted to forget about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I remember seeing that movie from Redbox or something back in the day. I do not remember the poo.
That's all I remembered. That stuck with me. To this day, I'm I'm never seeing that movie ever again.
Yeah.
But, I wanted to say, Jab, you were a mover, you were a shaker, you are working in the industry. And before I get to that, did that scene in RV inspire you to want to become an editor and work in Hollywood and everything?
What kind of question is that?
I mean, Kevin is right. I was inspired to make sure a scene like that never shows up in a movie ever again.
Don't placate him. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fine. Forget it.
Editing it out and make sure that none of our celebrities have to be showered and shit ever again.
Unless they make a movie about the Dave Matthews Band incident. And Grant, you mentioned this was the 19th anniversary. The Big 20's coming up next summer. I think we're due for a biopic.
I think we need to add a 5th star to the Chicago flag, commemorating it.
A brown star?
We have 4 stars right now. A brown star would be appropriate. They're all commemorating historical events throughout Chicago's history, and I figure why not add one more?
What are the other ones? One is a World's Fair, right?
There's 2 World's Fairs. One of them's Fort Dearborn. I think the last one is the fire. Okay,
and then the 5th one would be the Dave Matthews Band tour bus.
It's up there. It's it's equivalent. Yeah.
I would agree. I think it's huge. But going back to Jab and away from the poo for a little bit. You work for the Living Tombstone. You were an editor for Mother's Basement, which I was watching a video of his recently, and I was pleased to see a little segment that said Jab edited this part. I think you snuck that in during one of the parts of the video.
Oh yeah, I'm kind of honored because every time he does a live action segment, he always wants me to be the editor. And I really appreciate it because he just allows me to add all my inside jokes that only I get, like all of my edits that I think is funny, which is not often. Like whenever I edit for other YouTube channels, I always get notes being like, I get it, it's funny, but can you please take this out? Like this is not going to work with everyone else. But he just like fully lets me like do anything I want. So that's cool. I just fully take advantage of it. So that's more or less become my main role, is like whenever he needs a live action thing to be super attention grabby, he calls it the Jab flair, which is flattering. So
yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, Mother's Basement is like an anime and manga retrospective channel. Been around for a long time.
2016 is when it started. The owner used to write for, I want to say, Destructoid and Rock Paper Shotgun and other things like that. Cool. And then he started getting more passionate about anime, so he made that channel. And then I got tagged along 3 years into it, and I've been doing it ever since. So about 4.5 years.
And then you've been at the Living Tombstone for a while as well, right?
Yeah, about 3 years and 3 months. Nice. Got hired during the pandemic. But it's not editing though. I handle their social media and their marketing. Mm-hmm. So that's more of my industry title job is like head of marketing.
Yeah, see, this is what I'm saying. You're a mover, you're a shaker, you do it all. It's impressive.
the jab of all trades.
Yeah, feel free to use that. Put that in your if it's not in your Twitter bio tomorrow, I'll be hurt.
Twitter bio, LinkedIn bio.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've heard it here first on Thought Cops. That's where the joke got invented.
I have been like, I've been on the job hunt for a while, and as a result, I've spent a lot of time on LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. And that website is so twisted.
It's cracked out.
It's just evil. The way that people use it is so bizarre. Like, I don't know if you've noticed this, Grant, where I've just seen I've just been paying attention to how people post on there, and like they'll post like memes or just like pseudo inspirational garbage, and it's always a picture. Like someone's like, I turned 38 years old today. And then it's like, that's just the one sentence. Like, okay, that's nice. But then it says, then there's always the read more. And everything is like spaced out. So like you have to like keep like scrolling to read more of it. And he's like, it's one of those like annoying like marketing things. Like, guess I got your attention. Well, while you're here kind of thing. And it's smart in a way, but like I hate the fact that it's just like, you're using this like Facebook, but it's LinkedIn. Like, it's just like even the most like banal human interaction has to be like turned into this, like they cannot turn off the sales pitch mindset.
Oh yeah, all the predatory marketing that you already see on Facebook and Twitter, LinkedIn is like the testing zone. It's like everyone who follows their LinkedIn accounts are just the guinea pigs for that, and it gets super predatory. There was one woman that I had to yell at because she was like running some like payroll thing that she was trying to get companies to use. And she would message me saying, hey, here's this new software that we would really love your company to try out. Mm-hmm. And then I wouldn't respond a week later. Hi, it appears that you've read my message, but didn't seem to respond to it. Here's another message reminding you to respond to it. Don't respond again. And then she goes, I'm seeing that the notification turns to red, but you didn't respond. Please choose from these 3 options on why you decided not to respond. And she listed 3 reasons. She was like, 1, your company already has a payroll program and are contractually obligated to keep using it. 2, you're just too busy and were intending on responding to me later. And then the one that got me was 3, you're not interested and are ignoring me. Sad face emoji.
That's got to be an AI, right?
I don't know, because like I'll check her LinkedIn profile and it seems human. So like, which is arguably worse.
That is like very human. I also feel like LinkedIn is sort of like you're the victim to like civility culture, because it's like you can't really go off on LinkedIn. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of times when people will. There's actually a really good subreddit for all you incels out there that go on Reddit. But there's a really good subreddit called, it's like LinkedIn Lunatics or something like that. And like the amount of like crazy one went viral a couple weeks ago where a guy was doing the thing where he was talking about like, I know it's controversial to talk about Hitler, but like we'd be amiss to not like, critically analyze like how good of a leader he was. And like he read this book on Hitler and whatever and was like saying all the positive things and of course like lost his job. And it's just like, yeah, and apparently you just have to be nice to those people because it's like that's your face representing your so you can't be like, hey, fuck you, asshole. Like you have to be like, questionable content, whatever. It's like you can't get in flame wars on LinkedIn, and that's probably where everyone wants to get in flame wars and just scream at people because they deserve it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, now that you mention it, I've never seen reply wars or comment arguments on LinkedIn. Like it either just gets ignored or reacted to.
It's a bad look. It's a bad look to argue on that site. Like
I've seen a couple, but they're very like they do, like you said, remain pretty civil, or they're just like something like I saw someone was like, hey, I've been unemployed for like 9 months. I'm really in need of a job. Da 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 da. And like this one guy, replies. He's like, just a bit of advice. Maybe remove the pronouns from your bio, and you should, maybe that could help a little bit. And then I saw these people who were like,
oh god,
angry about that, but also like trying to respond in like the most like business casual way possible. Well, no, what are the metrics? Why should he do that? Like trying to disprove him with like statistics instead of like, hey, you're a dick.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's on the table as like, oh, we're having like a discussion about this, and it's like you shouldn't have to discuss with these people.
Mm-hmm.
I digress.
A twisted place.
Those cursed phone ads that like people were freaking out about back in like 2019, 2020.
Remind me.
They would just be like weird puzzle phone games, and then there would just be like a video of someone having a seizure right next to it, being like, "This person can't get enough of this game." And LinkedIn was where all the business for that was happening. Like I remembered getting a whole bunch of DMs from these Chinese game developers saying, "Hey, we need you to make 15-second ads for these puzzle games no one's heard of." And I remember how much Twitter was like freaking out about these cursed phone advertisements. So I was like, maybe if I tone them down a bit, like it'll be more accepting. So I was still like downloading random TikToks of people dancing, being like, oh, they're dancing because they just won this one game. And I would send it to them, and they would literally respond back being like, no, this isn't crazy enough. This is too normal. And like they said they weren't going to use my video, so they didn't pay me. But then whenever I was on apps, I came across my own ads on these apps at some point, and I'm like, wait, so they used it anyway, and they pretended to reject it so they wouldn't have to pay me?
Yeah,
like
that tracks. I saw one of those videos once. I follow this guy on TikTok who is a lawyer, which is an interesting way to start this story. And like he uploaded a video of like him graduating law school, and then one of those like apps like ripped that video, and it's like him like hugging his significant other being like, oh my god, I got in, sort of thing. But it was like, oh my god, look, we won the jackpot.
Yeah, like they'll take these like actual heartfelt videos and just recontextualize it, or like like they'll show kids like hugging their dads who came back from Iraq or something, but like they'll Photoshop it to like the dad holding a box of a PS5 or like a dad holding a mobile phone, and it's like, thank you so much, Dad, I love you now. And then it transitions to
and especially when you can tell that like when you read their lips and they're not like exactly saying what, like someone like dubs them over, but because it's someone that's talking, you don't really know that, like you don't notice that they're not saying that. But and the funny thing was the guy's a lawyer, and he's like, I think I can just sue you over this for probably a lot of money.
Do you know if he did?
I don't know if he did or not.
Oh.
There were a couple of those ads that were like taking videos of Critical, and they were just dubbing over him, being like, I just found this new game.
Oh my
but like
god.
They wouldn't even bother to lip sync him to like whatever the other person was saying. So it's just
this new Chinese mobile game is really interesting and actually really fun.
And they would mimic his monotone voice too. They would
yeah.
like, I just found this new game. Like it's And we thought the same thing. We were like, Critical could probably sue for this, but we don't know if he did.
I know advertising has always been pretty evil, but is it more evil now? Sound off in the chat.
I say it is, and I don't know if that's gonna like get me in trouble, but I think it is.
There are so many layers where I'm like, surely they won't sink that low, will they? And then it's like, oh well, nevertheless. And then it just keeps happening.
Yeah, it's I one thing that we call it is like professional manipulation or like socially acceptable manipulation, because at the end of the day that's what it is. Like they're just trying to find ways to like grab like your brain cells and like change them and like get a hold of your feel good hormones and change them. Like you always hear about how the colors red and yellow makes you hungry. McDonald's logo, red and yellow, and how
every
blue
food logo,
and how like the color blue makes you comfortable. Mattress companies tend to be blue, like yada yada yada. Like it's all brain chemistry. Same thing with like music too. Like there's this thing called the millennial whoop. But like, have you noticed that instead of choruses and like songs on the radio these days, it's always some sort of like like it's like some wave pattern.
I've been commenting on that for a decade.
Yeah, like
that always bothers. You know, I hate fucking when people blame millennials for things, because I'll notice certain trends and I'll get really irritated by them, and I'll be like, why does everyone do this? Why does everyone say doggo? Why does everyone, talk like this? It's so fucking annoying, and people think that I'm a fucking hater. And then like 10 years go by and everyone's like, look at these fucking stupid millennials saying doggo. And it's like, motherfucker, I've been making fun of this for forever, and now it's cool to do it, but everyone thinks that I'm just like a stark raving lunatic. Dude, but that's not the point.
That shit gets under my skin so much. That happens to me all the fucking time too, where it's like, I look like the asshole because I was ahead of the curve on hating you. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it's cool later on and I'm hating something new and you think I'm still an asshole, which I am, but you'll agree with me soon.
Well, and then the worst part is that they say like, oh, well, that's just millennial speak. Like, oh, that's the millennial whoop. This is millennial gray. This is whatever. And it's just like, I don't want to be associated with the thing that I've spent my entire life complaining about.
I also don't want to hear that shit from the mouths of Zoomers.
Yeah.
Like, fuck
it's a
you.
very Zoomer thing to do. Is
hating on
their
us.
Middle parts and their misuse of AAVE.
It's only a matter of time until Generation Alpha comes for your fucking asses.
Yeah,
all about that Skibidi toilet. And you're going to be like, oh, I don't get the Skibidi toilet. It's like, yeah, because you're fucking old now.
I don't know what that is.
We talked about it last time. Well, I guess we didn't want to. We weren't supposed to tell Asterios what it was. You remember?
Oh, yeah, but I guess.
And you never did. You never bothered to look. You weren't curious.
Didn't learn what it was. No, and my girlfriend asked me if I knew what it was or was telling me something, and I still couldn't retain anything.
Jab, you know what the Skibidi toilet is, right?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Can you explain it to Grant, please?
I have a bit more of an optimistic opinion on it. Like, you've watched like early Gary's Mod videos and Source Filmmaker videos, right? Where no, okay, this is gonna be harder than I thought. Okay, never mind.
It's absurdist humor. It's absurdist humor.
It's absurdist humor, but like it's always 10 times easier to explain if someone grew up with Gary's Mod or Source Filmmaker videos. But Source Filmmaker and Gary's Mod are like tools that you can use where you take characters from Valve games like Half-Life, TF2, and people just recontextualize them to different scenarios. So there's like a decade's worth of fan videos about that.
You see, back in the day, we had Sprite comics or Flash animations.
Yeah, and then Gary's Mod kind of became like a recreation of that. So Skibidi Toilet is one of the characters from Half-Life, and they're just coming out of a toilet, and they're singing a song that I think was produced by Timbaland, and it's called Skibidi Toilet because that's just the lyrics. It goes Skibidi bop bop da da, yes, Skibidi. It sounds like
this isn't like a new product that I'm buying from Home Depot.
No, it's like three recycled things like put into one. It's Source Filmmaker, a song Timbaland produced like 11 years ago, and some guy from the Source Filmmaker community just putting it together.
Oh, that's a lot less interesting and also a lot more confusing.
I know, like I got so defeated when you said no. When I asked if you knew what Source Filmmaker was, I was like, God, I'm way more online than I thought I was.
Well, it's like it's the same sense, the same part of the brain that finds an interest in like YouTube poop and stuff like that. It's just, like I said, it's just absurd, weird internet shit. It's been around forever. This is a new form of that, and for some reason, it just seems to have become popular with 5 and 6 year olds, I guess.
Well, one thing I've noticed with kids is like from Five Nights at Freddy's to Poppy's Playtime and whatnot is that kids love to be scared, and kids love to be scared of things that are associated.
Not me. I hated it. I hate it now. I hate being an adult and being scared.
Yeah, well, again, you're ahead of the curve. 10 years later, people are going to hate being scared and then judge you for loving being scared.
And then they're going to be like, ooh, the millennial scaries. And I'm going to be like, God damn it, I hate being scared.
But like Skibidi Toilet, I think like a lot of kids just don't like the idea of a head coming out of a toilet because like it's like the fear of the unknown. I've always heard kids growing up like being scared to use the toilet because they're like worried something's going to pop out and attack them in their most vulnerable state. So I think much like how Five Nights at Freddy's answered the horror of like, what happens if I get locked in the Chuck E. Cheese with all these animatronic animals? Skibidi Toilet kind of like captures the same fear of like, what if a living creature pops out of this toilet and I have no idea it's in there because I can't see it? Like,
I was looking up some videos recently of like, you hear about this in Australia and other places where like snakes will come out of the toilet.
Oh yeah, they absolutely do.
Yeah,
and like
Rats
I just was watching
do it also.
I was watching videos of like people like they got the animal control people like pulling this like gigantic like python out of a fucking toilet hole. It's horrifying shit because like I can see why Skibidi Toilet is scary, you know, and I would be so pissed off if that guy's head came out when I was trying to take a dump.
Oi, what's it singing?
See, Kevin, you're spoken like a true Gen Alpha. You get these kids. You get their fears.
I do. I've always, related to Generation Alpha somehow.
10 years ago, I saw a video of a guy flushing a toilet, and as he did, like 15 frogs came out of like the inner rim of it. And for like a whole year,
I've seen that video.
Every time I had to go use the bathroom for like a whole year afterwards, I would flush it. Yeah, I would flush it once because I was like, I don't want to feel a fucking frog like on my upper thigh when I'm in my most vulnerable state. So it worked. That was a fear, and that video lived rent free in my head for like a year afterwards. So because kids love being scared, I can imagine Skibidi Toilet just kind of like validating a fear that a lot of kids have. But I feel bad for parents now because now I'm seeing Reddit posts of like, I can't fucking potty train my son. He refuses to use the toilet because of Skibidi Toilet.
Oh my God.
He's afraid of a man popping out.
This was I knew it. It was Big Diaper all along. They're trying to keep kids in diapers for their whole lives because like think about it, like they can only sell diapers to babies and old people, and there's a huge market of that in between kids, teenagers, adults, middle-aged people. They're not wearing diapers. What better way to get them wearing diapers than to scare the living shit out of them by putting a guy in their toilet?
Oh my God. That'd be so funny if that was the theory that ended up coming true. It's all a marketing ploy.
I wanted to ask you, on the topic of Skibidi Toilet, will Skibidi Toilet be headlining Funny Rave this year? God. Are the rumors true?
Yeah, we have what's his name, Da Fuck Boom, as our headliner.
Is that what his name is? Let me see.
Yeah, that's his channel name.
See, this is just where it's like if I have to do homework to know what these things are, I just don't do. I don't. Everyone just like, I found that happened with there was like I opened up TikTok today and I saw a bunch of people were like talking about some people in a boat got in a fight, and I was like, huh. And then I kept scrolling and people were like, yeah, the guy threw a chair, and I was like, huh. And then it was just like, they're like, you always get the information before you ever like know what happened, sort of thing. And I do think that the story ended up being interesting, but just like the way that like the recursive nature of the way that the news cycle works, like I always feel like I'm behind, and then I just don't like want to catch up because there's like a level of spite where I just go, whatever.
Yeah, I've reached an age where like a new internet trend will come up, and then all my friends are like mortified that I have all the knowledge of it. Like that's what happened with Skibidi Toilet. Was like everyone's wondering, how do you know all this? And I'm like, I do marketing for a band where the fans are mostly Zoomers. Like they talk about this on our Discord server we moderate. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it's like I'm in a weird position where it's kind of a part of my job to be aware of like every new internet trend.
I mean, to some extent, that's also true for us. It's like if it comes up on Thought Cops, I'll reluctantly learn about it. If one of my friends posts about it on Twitter, I think it was like Anime Serbia was the one posting about Skibidi Toilet when I first saw it. I'm like, and I just kept seeing it pop up like more and more and more.
I feel bad for Sir because all he said was, "This is Gen Alpha's Numa Numa," Gen Alpha Slenderman, and then he got
or Numa Numa, really.
Yeah, it was Viperwave who responded saying, "This is how your mom felt when you showed her Numa Numa back in the mid 2000s," and for some reason, Serb just got attacked by so many Gen Alpha people. Like, just
are
calling...
there much Gen Alpha people on the?
Don't you?
I was going to say on the computer, but like on Twitter
to like sign up for most websites.
The oldest Gen Alpha people are 13 now. Yeah, like
oh boy.
According to my other podcast co-host, Gen Alpha is like 2010 to 2023 and onward. So yeah, Gen Alphas are old enough to start using social media and harass Serb for making that post.
I feel like he gets harassed by Gen Alpha a lot, like the Loud House incident where he like some cartoon called The Loud House, and like somehow he pissed off like all of their fans who were like 10 years old.
Yeah, because like I don't know if y'all ever got berated by those like L plus ratio accounts, but like when those accounts were first coming around on Twitter, they were all branding themselves with The Loud House. It was so strange. Okay. Like they'll just respond to things being like L plus ratio block equals I own you, and if you go on their Twitter page, it's either like Loud House or Young Boy's mugshot. Like it's like those are like the two things that branded themselves.
This is like what it's like having a stroke, I think. It's like you just hear all these like words that like you're just like a Loud House, L plus ratio, and you're like, oh, my brain is melting.
Yeah, if you start to smell toast, you've learned too much.
Yeah.
Man,
this is the Zoomer episode. I apologize, everyone. I work for Zoomer brands, so it's
we need to keep an ear to the ground, because it's like you either live to see yourself become the Alpha House, or you die to see yourself become Joe Rogan.
That tracks. Jeb, are you a Zoomer? I know you're a little bit younger than us.
It's always a debate because I hear people say that Zoomers are 1995 to 2010, and I was born in 96. But I also hear people say that Zoomers are like 1998 to 2010.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of just got comfortable with the idea of calling myself a Zollennial because I guess I'm just on the borderline of it.
I've heard that.
There's no like committee that tells people, like, no one's setting these dates.
There really should be, though, because there's so much debate about this stuff constantly.
I think we need to abolish the generations. I think just say your age. We don't need groupings of people because, like, the groupings don't make sense.
Just turns us all against each other.
Yeah.
And it's stupid. It just gives people pride of, like, I'm getting a lot of, like, Gen X videos lately where people think that, like, they're deserving of attention and respect because they had rotary phones and cassette tapes. And it's like, I also had those and I'm not you. And I don't want to be in your fucking club because it smells bad and you're basically boomers at that point. And fuck you.
Whenever people make those videos, like, remember what they took from you, I just respond, this looks old. I'll have my smartphone. Give me my smartphone back. Like, I'll just, because like all they're doing is just complaining about how like tech is moving at a faster pace and they just can't keep up with it. So they just make everyone else look like the crazy people. Which,
like, to some extent, there is some truth to that for sure. I think it just fries our brains a bit, but I'm not out here like taking like vaporwave ask videos like, remember Pokemon cards?
Yeah.
Remember Cartoon Network? This is what they took from you.
Like last decade, it was 80s and 90s nostalgia. And now it's 2000s nostalgia. Now you keep seeing those posts of like, oh, tech was the best when the plastic around it was transparent. I see those posts all the fucking time.
Oh, yeah. I had a hard drive article. I forget the exact wording. It was like aging gamer requests atomic purple CPAP machine.
Oh, that was you?
Yeah, and then there was like the editor, the woman with like the purple like a Game Boy Color looking like CPAP machine. And like we get like a ton of messages and replies. They're like, but for real though, do you guys sell that?
Oh my
you know, like,
I mean, I will say that there is like
it's not just for old people.
There is like a nostalgia factor for like when things looked a certain way, you know, and there was like a certain appealing nature to like the way certain things used to look. And sometimes I feel like that's foregone for like this disgusting concept of like minimalism, where it's just like everything is going to be white and look like it came from IKEA. And like, you know, all these things that like make things look unique and different and whatever. Like we're just gonna do a simple logo. And
I get it. Like, I mean, I go to work with 3 DSs like every single day, so I totally get it. But like, and as much as I miss it, I'm just like, well, technology is going to move forward in this path, whether I like it or not. I can choose to be sad about it, or I can just live both worlds, being like, I have my smartphone here, but at the same time, like I carry around shit like this just to be happy with both. Like look back and be excited for the future. That's just how I see it.
And for those listening, Jab just pulled out 3 3DSs.
9 DSs.
Yes. I have one specifically that I'm playing Hotel Dusk on. One I'm specifically playing Trace Memory on, and then another one for Project Crossoon. People always compare me to Garrett because I think Garrett talked about it on the podcast like 10 years ago too, where he does the same thing. And it's like, no, like when you're someone who loses focus on games every 20 minutes and you have to keep like changing the cycle, like this starts to make more sense, even though it's more shit to carry around.
You got to have the cargo pants with like all the pockets.
Yes, which thanks to Eurodance, that's going to come back. All those cargo pants.
This is why techwear is in vogue, is because you get a lot of pockets.
Exactly.
That's why the kids are wearing techwear. There's more pockets.
But I think
pockets
like speaking of
shoes,
like
Kevin.
pocket core,
Ooh.
I think like it's like kind of like what you were saying, Jab. It's nice to have like reverence for old technology and old aesthetics and things like that, because there's plenty of things I see from like when I was a kid or even like well before my time where I'm like, wow, that was really a look. That was really that was a time in history. I can very much like see that just by looking at it and like appreciate different aspects of it. But I'm not out here being like, we have to go back.
Yeah,
you know?
That shit sucks.
Yeah, like we can only go forward. Allegedly.
I like when like things like look a certain way, and when people like use certain like imagery to like conjure up certain emotions and stuff like that. Like I'm a fan of that, but like when people are just like, you know, they'll show like those photos of like the propaganda photos of like a white family in the 50s, and they're like, how come it's not like this anymore? And it's like, it wasn't like that in the first place. Like that wasn't that great of a time. Like the standard of living was great. That was about it. It was a horrific period of time. I know, because that's when like my parents were around, and they still are, but you know.
Yeah, no, they're always listening to the selective memories that they hear from their elders, because I mean that's human nature to only remember the good things that happened growing up. So it's very easy to go, man, it was so easier to be happy in the 50s. All you had to do was go on a Sunday drive and just chill out to alt rock. And it's like, no, that's just what you remember. You're like forgetting all like the classist trauma that happened in the 50s,
the classism, the racism, the other like all the bad shit.
The list goes on. I think like for me, whenever I think of like, oh, it'd be cool to live in like such and such time period, I'm like, that would be kind of nice. But the big thing that always like draws me back to the present is like, I am really bad with directions. And if I think about like living in a world that I don't have Google Maps, I'm like, I would be fucked. I wouldn't know how to get anywhere or do anything. Yeah,
just the idea of someone just holding out like a roadmap like this big, like on the passenger seat, like while like trying to drive. It's like, no, give me my smarphone. Give me. I'll take my pronoun phone, please. Anything.
Yeah. When extra Chinese mobile games, please.
Yeah. When I first moved to Chicago, I had a dumb phone for like the first year or two, and like I would just be like, oh, let me check out this guitar store that's up in like Lincoln Square. And you'd take the brown line, and it's like, I don't know, I've never taken the brown line. You take the brown line, you go all the way up north, you make sure you get off at the stop, and then it's like, oh, which direction do I walk in? Like, I don't know, because I've been traveling like whichever direction and whatever, and it's like, where's this shop? And it's like, I have no idea. And you're just like walking around, and it's like, eventually maybe you find it, but like, I remember then like talking to my parents and being like, I gotta get like a smartphone, and them like fighting me on it and being like, no, I don't know how to like get around. Like,
yeah, I still have this like shameful incident when I'm trying to go somewhere new. Yeah, I take the blue line or something. I get off the train, and like I'm looking at my phone, and like that moment when you step off the train and like go above ground, and like you're like looking around to see like what direction you're facing on Google Maps. Like I look like such a fucking idiot.
Well, sometimes there's like a compass on the ground. You got to watch for the compass.
Oh yeah, sometimes. But then sometimes, or if I don't see it, I get out there and I'm just like, I'm like spinning around like I'm a fucking like I'm glitching out, you know?
Yeah, or like you're walking one direction and like the little guy on the map is like moving this way, and you're like, oh shit, I got to turn around, but there's people behind you and you don't want to look embarrassing, so you just like make 3 right turns and go around the block.
Yeah. But yeah, the racism and stuff was bad too. You're right.
Yeah, fuck racism, man.
Yeah,
all my homies
most
hate
importantly,
racism.
Fuck maps.
Yeah, getting lost sucks too. So Jab, tell us about Funny Rave. On that note, let's move on from the racism.
Yeah, speaking of racism, my Twitch. The last time I was on here, I announced that I was putting my show on hiatus just to get some personal stuff going.
And we just came back from hiatus recently, so
yeah, we came back in the form of a kind of like a Nintendo Direct where we were just kind of announcing stuff. So for people that don't know, Funny Rave was a Twitch festival that me and my friend Six founded when our friend's concert got canceled. So we just said, hey, let's rile up like 10 of our DJ friends and just do this show because promoting her new EP that was coming out. And we got way bigger of an audience than we expected. So me and my friend Six were like, do you want to just keep doing this? This was pretty easy. Mm-hmm. So we were like, yes. And then it got bigger and bigger to the point where we're now doing like 2 weekend shows with like hundreds of acts. So it started to get overwhelming. And I put it on hiatus. My friend was super understanding. And we decided to come back because I realized I missed it way more than I thought I would. And it was just kind of a community that I just kind of missed being in close contact with. And people knowing that Funny Rave was around was like a big motivation for people to talk to me. So I was like, okay, I'll bring this back.
I kind of feel that too with like Thought Cops.
Yeah, like it's
Who am I without a podcast? I don't know.
Right.
Exactly. Like in this age, it's always important to have some sort of like platform attached to you to like get people to trust you more, which sounds evil, but like it's just how it is. And like our tech discussion, it's just like you got to either be angry about it or go with the flow.
Well, we're all cogs in the greater machinery of capitalism. Everything. Like I'm not a person. I'm a brand. I'm Officer Grant.
Yeah.
Of the
like
Thought Cops LLC.
It's always, what can you bring to the table for me? And not just, oh, who are you? But anyway, so we brought it back. We announced a new merch line, got a bunch of shirts and little beer holders. And we started a Patreon to fund, because last time I was on here, I was talking about when we were bringing Funny Rave back, we wanted to do more in real life shows. So we're finally getting a Patreon going to get people to fund that for us.
Oh, cool.
And,
ooh.
Yeah, so hopefully in 2024, I'm going to be honest, probably not this year, but next year, look out for Funny Rave in a city near you.
You guys would tour?
Yeah, either a tour or just like multiple singular shows around the country. We do have one venue in New York who said that they're just outright just like down to host us, like for no charge. So I'm going to hold them to that.
I think you might have mentioned that last time, if I remember correctly.
Probably, yeah, because New York was the first place we ever did a live show at. So the New York rave scene seems to be down with us, and I am totally okay with that. Your city is cool. You think we're cool. I'm liking this relationship. But yeah, as far as a new online show, we don't have a name yet, but we are planning on having a new online show in November and December. So as of right now, I'm working on bringing people on, contacting people, seeing if they want to be on our show. Hopefully I can give them a good 3 months to work on their sets. So cool. Yeah, so just imagine a concert, but on Twitch, and it's highly emphasizing visuals and whatnot. It's more than the music show. It's a whole visual production. Very, very fun. The efforts of hundreds of people. So I'm not just saying it because I run the show. I'm saying it because like hundreds and hundreds of musicians always put their best efforts into this. So if you want to see people on their A game, tune in. Tune into it.
Do you have any acts lined up that you can announce yet, or no?
Yes. This is another
DJ Corn Cob.
Yeah, from Corn Nut Stadium.
Yeah.
But we do. This is gonna sound Zoomer of me again, but if for people that know a game called Friday Night Funkin'.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. there's
I know what it is, but yeah, that's good enough, I hope.
Yeah, so a big Friday Night Funkin' personality called Saruki is collaborating with his friend Extents. And if you go to the Twitter Funny Rave page, they did this whole animated trailer about how Funny Rave is like this illegal cyberpunk show that people can't stop attending. And so that's one of our biggest headliners right now. So for all of you Friday heads out there, look out for Saruki B2B Extents coming sometime in either late November or early December. We haven't decided yet.
I saw something called like Kaleido Cocktail Barbecue.
Yeah,
was that what that was? Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, there's a really cool animation that went along with it.
And I did not ask them to do that. Like, we weren't planning on having a trailer for our show up, but they asked us, hey, can we premiere something? And they were our biggest acts in our last show. So I was like, yeah, it's only fair that I give you time. And then I was expecting, maybe just some 30-second trailer of some audio. But no, they did a whole, like, this is going to be like an entire, like, short animated film that they're working on. So, like, I'm still blown away that people are going these lanes for this really dumb idea that we had back years ago when we couldn't leave our homes.
You know who you guys got to get on the show?
What's that?
DJ Crazy Times.
Yes. I'm hoping that we're not too little for him after he blows up next week when his full ass song comes out.
Yeah, Grant, can we watch that clip on here?
No, we don't have the capability.
Crap!
I lied. I'm a fucking liar.
Is this another current trend that Grant is behind on?
Lying?
No, he's good at that. Just kidding. No, Grant's not a liar. What the hell am I talking about?
I'm not a liar. I would never lie. I've never lied, actually. Speaking of never lying, though, I'm honestly just killing time so that I can pull up the clip. But I have the clip right here, and we're all gonna watch it. And
the caption here says every European dance song in the 1990s.
Yeah, if you haven't seen this yet, I mean you're missing out. But I don't know if we're gonna get like a copyright thing or something like that. But Zwick, do your magic of uploading it, and then we say, Zwick, we got a copyright strike. Can you make it go away?
I think I'm wearing matching glasses too. Fuck yeah.
Without further ado,
do you guys think he looks like Zwick, kinda?
Yeah, but just
kind
because of the dyed hair.
If Zwick had red hair instead of green hair,
yeah,
this is what they took from you.
Yeah.
So that guy got in a bit of controversy too, because a week later he released another music video with a completely different woman, and the people were not happy with it.
Yeah, I was wondering. I saw people like hated it all. Like, we love this, now we hate it. What am I supposed to think?
Well, the first woman looks so correct. You know, you want to talk about like a translucent purple Game Boy. Like, she's got one in her pocket right now. You know that she does. And then they like replaced her with some other woman. And then I guess they replaced those two with a third woman. And I think that the point is supposed to be that like that style of music back then, like you would just have like just some female vocalist, and it didn't even matter. Like you didn't even know the name.
Yeah, people were theorizing
sort of a joke.
It was like a commentary / joke on the fact that like while people are nostalgic for that type of music, that was also kind of a problematic thing where they were like seeing these women as like very disposable, that they could just keep replacing them with different looking women for whichever look like stuck with the biggest audience.
Right. It reminds me of Aqua.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were changing out the woman, but
I think she was the same person.
Yeah,
same
because
people.
it's like I know. I think we talked about this before, Grant. How there's like this like sort of theatrical element to this sort of thing where you have like it's very like you have the guy and the girl, they're going back and forth, and there's this sort of like I don't know, like theatrical element of their back and forth in the song. It feels like I don't know, feels something out of a weird play.
Well, I also feel like Aqua was like maybe more self-aware because like the whole like Barbie girl song was like more of like a parody satire. Like I think that they were a little more in on the joke of like, this shit's weird, right? But you love it. And we did. We loved it.
Yeah.
So everyone's dying to know, are women also your favorite guys?
That's probably the biggest takeaway from the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the most quotable one that everyone's been.
I think so. I also love Tell the World Stop the War. It's just like perfect.
Because he wants more sex.
Yeah.
Sex. I wanted more.
Which is another thing that Eurodance was like, it was all just like different types of ways of just a guy saying, I want to fuck.
Yeah.
But like in the biggest way that's like the least likely to get you laid, by like dressing like a bug with colored hair.
Which nowadays people
were
love.
into that. People were into that. That's Dennis Rodman used to dress like a bug. Women loved it. It's true. He used to have those bug glasses, the ones that Bug Man wears now. He used to have the Bug Man Oakleys, you know.
Oh, you guys should look into getting Bug Man.
Oh God,
for Funny Rave.
There's so many people that have like blown up like Bugman and this guy, and I'm just like, fuck, we took too big of a hiatus. Like they're now reaching points where Funny Rave is gonna look like a very small, non-beneficial gig for them. But I'm still hoping there are people I've been saving, being like, fuck, they're gonna be good for next year. Hopefully they're still relevant. Oh my God.
But you guys should get Martin Shkreli.
Yeah, when he comes out of prison, or actually,
he's out of prison.
Oh, that's something. That's something I'm behind on.
I know, because I was scrolling TikTok the other day and like his fucking face popped up on my screen, and I went, ah!
Oh God, yeah, no, that's a jump scare, because he was such a phenomenon for both good and bad reasons in the mid 2010s, and then everyone just kind of forgot about him for a while.
Yeah, that name just like sounds like such a relic at this point. I'm like, oh yeah, that was the guy we all like hated for a little while. He was a cartoon villain.
He was the Elon Musk of his time, if you will. Not really, but
he walked so Musk could run. Let's be honest.
Exactly.
Speaking of,
yes,
I don't have anything. I don't want to talk about Elon Musk, man.
Yeah, that kind of I just thought about him and I got kind of sad for a second. I'm like,
yeah, I was trying to think of like a funny angle, and I don't. There isn't one anymore. It's just like, well, I used to like this website, and
I know I have like tabs open for Twitter here for like the video and a couple other things, and I'm just like seeing that dreadful X logo.
I was really convinced he was going to change it, because when he did the whole like tweet rate limit thing earlier in July, like 2 days later, he was like, oh, never mind. That was a clever scheme to make you guys realize that you were all addicted. So, which in reality,
well, wait, him, sir.
Which in reality, he only changed it.
Gambit.
Yeah. Which in reality, he only changed it because everyone hated it, including his checkmark cronies. So when he changed it to X, I was like, I think the same thing will happen. I think he's going to get enough hate that 2 days later it's going to revert back to Twitter, and he's going to be like, haha, just kidding. But
no, I think he thinks it's the coolest thing he could have ever done.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on that. Yeah, it's X, pretty cool letter, very edgy, right?
He's going to give it to you.
Is there, like, what is so cool about that letter? Like, Elon's not the only person that's obsessed with that letter. Like, I've seen so many things, so many products, so many people's brands. Is it really just it's so weird. It's
so seldom used. I think there's something about like, oh, when the X comes out, oh, there's an X in that word. It just it looks cool. It's like the cross symbol. It's just, it has like a, it can take on multiple sounds. Like sometimes it sounds like a Z. Sometimes it sounds like a X, which is like three letters of one. CKS.
If you're from sub-Saharan Africa, sometimes it sounds like a.
There you go.
I'm pretty sure,
the secret third thing. Yeah.
Was that the notification sound?
Oh God.
Mate, no.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Speaking of, no.
It's weird that all the conspiracy theorists are so like behind everything Elon Musk does, because he's bordering on, like, he's not bordering on, he is cartoon villain level, like, evil. Like, he wants to put microchips in your brain. Like, he's like the fucking, like, the stereotype for, like, oh, he wants everyone to switch to whatever type of energy. He wants everyone driving. Like, he's trying to set up like a World Bank. Like, what's more evil than that? And everyone's just like, he's got the free speech website, and it's like, he's like, this is the Illuminati guy. Like, this is as close as any of you are going to get, and you're just like, yeah, cool, sign me up.
Can I read one of the funniest Elon Musk dick rider posts ever?
Oh, please.
Yes, but only if I can also read maybe one of the funniest things that he's said in a while.
Please do.
But yeah, go ahead.
So, y'all may have seen this before, but there was a post Elon Musk made, I think it was earlier this year, where he says, "I don't like the taste or effects of most alcohol, but there is something quite..." I'm not even at the bad part yet, but there is something quite, like, this guy is like so dumb, but there is something quite beautiful.
You
about
think
red
you're smarter
wine.
than him, Kevin? That's the smartest man. That's the best man in the.
He's awesome.
Good.
Let's be real. No, I don't like the I don't like the taste or effects of most alcohol, but there's something quite beautiful about red wine in a fine glass. Already a very dumb thing to say, but like, this guy responds to him where he says, it's one of these checkmark idiots. He says, "I remember pouring you a glass at a friend's house in San Francisco after another mutual friend's wedding in 2017. I was decanting another. You didn't want to wait and said, quote, Honey Badger drinks when he wants."
What?
And then this guy ends the tweet by saying, "I made the clutch move of ordering us pizza at 1 a.m. Elon Musk has no idea who this loser is. Like, this is one of the most, like, absolutely pathetic things I've seen in my entire fucking life.
Jesus Christ.
The clutch move.
And now that they have check marks, they're just having more eyes put on them because they're boosting up in the top of the replies of every tweet.
You know, I really don't know sometimes with some of these people, though, because I feel like it's so indiscernible to tell whether or not someone's just like legitimately sick in the head or if they're just like a really good troll. And I think it's easier to tell because they do have the little check mark next to their name that you can go, well, you paid for it, so you're not that good of a troll. Like, you're scamming yourself, so like, haha, everyone thinks you're an idiot. But there was like something a while back when like someone said something of like, you know, something about like he would like J.O. Elon if like it meant like the savior of the human race or something like that. And you're just like, I don't know. I don't know if this is like roll of the dice of the universe. Like, do you think that a person like this could possibly exist? Like, sure, yeah. Probably one person. This might be it.
I just can't be like feeling sorry for everybody. Like, oh, they might have a problem. Like, I have fucking problems too. Okay. But like there's just something about the internet giving a microphone or a megaphone to everybody, and not everybody should have one. Like, just, you know, it's okay. It's good because we're hearing more voices from people who weren't able to speak up before, but we're also hearing a lot of people who really, you know, I mean, like, look at Chris Chan, you know, like that could have been avoided.
Yeah. It's like maybe society ignored them for a reason sometimes.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's just like, it was something I was like thinking about because, and I want to play a clip from this later on for my key to the city, but I was watching something yesterday that I was laughing at very, very hard for a long time.
Oh, is this the Family Guy thing?
Yeah, I thought about like if it was wrong that I was laughing at it, and then I was just like, I mean, this person is just off their fucking rocker, and they chose to put this out into the ether, and I am not going to harass them, but I am going to laugh privately in my room.
I will say though, like, I do think that there's an aspect to like how much the technology in and of itself sort of like creates like the world that we sort of like interact with every day. And I will say, like, for as much as people shit on Reddit, and I do think that it's warranted, I gotta say, I like the idea of, so long as there's not like bots and brigading and shit like that, I like the idea of like upvote, downvote, because it's like if you didn't think, and if you didn't like on Twitter, right? There's prioritization of like all of the check marks. It makes the website impossible to read. It makes the website impossible to look at because it's just like viral post and all of the stupidest, most racist, just like this cesspool of humanity, and like probably also a lot of bots that are just saying and doing the dumbest things. And you're like, I can't like look at this because it hurts my brain. And honestly, I just think that it's like all of the stupid shit, you hit the downvote button, it goes to the bottom of the page. I don't have to look at it. I don't have to interact with it. And all of like the good shit floats to the top. And then the people that put actual thought into what they're saying and what they're thinking, like, you interact with that. You don't interact with the bottom of the fucking page. You interact with the top, and you don't have to, you can pretend that the bottom doesn't exist.
Yeah, like as much as Reddit gets made fun of, and sometimes well-deserved, like I do agree, like I think their comment system is probably the best. Because with Twitter and YouTube, it was kind of the same way where the most liked stuff would get to the top, but Reddit is like the one website that will not give anyone like any like power to you know, beat that system. Because now with the check marks, like it doesn't matter. Like check marks just get priority regardless of what they say is a popular opinion or not.
Right.
And Reddit's like the one social media site that stayed consistent with how fair it is for someone to get the spotlight. It's always been like democratic, like highest vote goes up. And I can't really say that about any other website in the past like 10, 15 years. So I got to give Reddit credit for that. Karma Gold for that.
Thanks, kind stranger.
Thanks for the gold.
It's honestly surprising that like other platforms haven't also used that.
Yeah.
Or taken that.
It's one of those things too, because like Facebook, if you remember a long time ago, Facebook had like a thumbs up like button, and people were like, I want to dislike things. And they were like, well, we don't want people having like a negative experience or whatever, which I get if it's like you're adding your friends and family. But in terms of like interacting with strangers on the internet, it's like, yeah, I don't want to just see someone just like shitting out an opinion out of their fucking fingers. Like, put thought into it, but like prove that you're like a human being with like rationality and emotion and empathy and shit like that, so that people can go like, oh, okay, like this is how like discussion happens and this is how discourse happens, instead of just like just vomiting out just stupid bullshit. It's like, put the bullshit at the bottom. I don't have to look at the bullshit. I don't want to look at the bullshit. I'm at the point with Twitter when I log in and I see bullshit and I go, I don't want to use it. I don't want to look at it. And yeah, Asterios was right on the last episode when we had him on. It sucks that none of these other websites are as good as the thing that this dude like bought and then made himself the head of.
Yeah.
But like it sucks that it's like, you know, this is like the thing that we've all used for like 10, 15 years, you know?
Like, I mean, they could do what YouTube did too and just hide the dislikes. I mean, they could even hide them from you. Where it's like you can still like thumbs up or thumbs down something, but like, you know, you wouldn't know how many thumbs down you're getting. But like if your shit's not pulling up to other people, it's like, okay, maybe I said something wrong.
Shove it to the bottom of the page.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
No one needs to look at it.
What was that other post you wanted to show, Grant? Or
I just wanted to because there's this. I don't like engaging with this because I don't really care. There's this whole thing with like the fight between the theorized fight between Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, which like Zuckerberg's, I think, legitimately like scary. Like he's one of those dudes that like he spent all of his free time as like the only millennial billionaire, or like the billionaire that owns like basically like if you see like the wealth breakdown of like every generation and you see how little millennials have, and then it's like, oh, 90% of that is Zuckerberg, like
the youngest billionaire in the world.
He took he was, I don't know if he still is, but he took all that money and he just does like MMA and he does like CrossFit, like Murphs and shit like that. He does a bunch of crazy shit. And so he's like super jacked, but also he's young. So it's not like Bezos jacked where it's like, you just did like a round of steroids. Like nobody fucking believes that. Like
Did
you're
you start
60.
training before the Elon Musk boxing match? Like,
yeah, he's been working out for like a decade. Like he's in like fucking good shape. And Elon Musk looks like an alien when like the thing bursts through your chest. He kind of looks like that.
Yeah, because Elon only just started working out like because of the whole
and
fight
so like he's tweeting about this theorized fight that last we talked about this. His mom said that the fight is off. And like I derive no satisfaction from this because I wish that it was a duel, but it's whatever the fucking there's all this stupid celebrity boxing shit or whatever. So if you're doing it with billionaires, like, hey, maybe one of them will have a brain hemorrhage. That'd be dope. But Elon, the Krasensteins keep like floating to the top of Twitter. I wish I could see less of their shit. They're also like making out like bandits with like the new like Twitter's paying them to tweet and they're making like $20,000 a month tweeting.
Were they those guys that made that kids book about Donald Trump, or was that somebody else?
It might have been
like how he trumped Ronald Plump or something.
Oh God!
Let me look at Ronald Plump.
Yeah, well,
it was by Brian Krasenstein and Eddie Krasenstein.
Yeah, the Cramp twins, I call them.
Yeah.
So Ed Krasenstein. Did I say Krasenstein? Did I say his name right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Krasenstein. I don't fucking know, man.
Whatever. So he tweets, it's going to be a good fight. And then Elon chimes in. This is hilarious. He goes, if the fight is short, I probably win. If long, he may win on endurance. I am much bigger, and there is a reason MMA has weight divisions. And then he continues here. He says, aiming to get 50-pound free weights this week. I build muscle fast. Physical endurance is my weak spot, so I'm aiming to make this quick. Am lifting weights throughout the day, preparing for the fight. Don't have time to work out, so I just bring them to work.
Yeah, there was a video of him like during a meeting, like lifting weights as he was talking. So he's not wrong, I guess.
This is like when you like would be in high school and you had a friend that was like, yeah, no, I'll kick someone's ass, and then they get in like a fight for the first time and they'd like cry. And like it's like that level of just like, man, you're in your 50s and you're doing this shit. Like this is a weird age for this to be coming out.
I hope somebody does cry. Can you imagine if Elon Musk starts fucking crying?
That would be the gambit, sir.
That would be
it's actually strong for a man to show emotion.
I mean, the clutch move of bringing you a binky.
If someone does cry, that will be the most used reaction image for like the next 10 years.
Unreal.
Like we will be stuck. We will be stuck with that image for years.
Oh God.
Let's move on. I got a key to the city here, Grant. If you want to pull up, if we can just watch the first minute of this video.
Okay, this was the thing. I didn't watch this, so I'm glad that I'm finally going to.
I know this is, again, I felt
see it
a little bit bad for laughing at this, but at the same time, I will say, okay, so the video in question here is called
Why Modern Family Guy is a cartoon disgrace. And he does make some good points in the video, I'll admit that. But I want to let the first... Why do you click things like this? Why do you engage in this?
Because I saw a clip from it, and I'm like, this is pure cancer, and I need to see the whole thing. And I set aside some... I got a lot of free time, so I set aside some time and watched the whole thing.
I'm no better than to do that, so let's go ahead and, I guess, engage with it.
Oh, is this one of those still frame audio only videos? Oh, I'm so excited.
he gets on video himself. There's a face review.
It is also 43 minutes long.
Just watch the first minute. Hold on.
Seen a lot of Hotel Mario memes, even though the game itself is still horrible.
I'm already a fan.
But where are those creative, well-made mashups? which all of us can rely. Lucky there's a mashup guy.
I'm
He's
guessing
been
this
making
is
covers.
the
He's a
caller.
Rosalina lover. There'll be
be
lots of things that'll make us laugh and cry. He's a mash-up guy.
All right.
Well,
Wait, hold on, give it
here
a
we
little
go.
bit.
My second rant on my channel. So, what happened last time? Batman and Robin, an absolute disgrace to the Batman film series. And this time, it's going to be on a show a lot of people love.
Oh, you can cut it here,
A
Grant.
show that was amazing, charming, and
Right here?
Yeah.
I wanted to
I
see
mean-
what kind of good points he made.
I mean, he has some points about how Family Guy, low-key did kind of fall off, but he also, like, has
I don't
a
need a
reverence.
43-minute video to tell me that.
It's, like, I highly recommend watching the whole thing. It is absolutely, it's one of the most insane things I've ever seen. Not ever seen, but in a while. And, like, this guy gets angry about it. Like, he is, like, screaming at the top of his lungs about how, like, Peter is a bad guy for, like, telling Meg to shut up so much. Like, he's pissed off they killed Brian. He's this kind of guy. And he is going the fuck off.
It sounds like they're not lucky that he's a Family Guy.
In regards to you feeling bad for laughing, my whole thing with like quote unquote cringe content is like, I do agree that I feel bad laughing if it's someone simply enjoying themselves. Like if it's someone dancing in front of a webcam to a song they like, I'll be like, they're just enjoying themselves. But when it's someone like this who's like encouraging negativity of any kind, I think you have free reign to laugh at him as much as you want. I think he's given you permission to have any reaction that you like, any natural reaction that you have. I don't think you should feel bad for that.
Completely poisoned by like video essay YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
He's like he hits all the beats, every single thing you would expect to come from like a 43-minute, however long video.
Yeah.
Top
Especially
10,
when this whole like persona is supposed to be one of those angry guys. Like he's literally there like, this is why. And I can already see the dislikes coming in because it's a show everyone likes. Like
he does get ahead of it. He does get ahead of it like that.
That's one of my biggest pet peeves is when YouTubers like are like saying that I can already see the dislikes flowing in.
I know you're going to rip off my head for saying this.
Yeah, I'm about to piss off a lot of people. But I suggest you listen anyway. Like I fucking hate when YouTubers do that.
I did do my own version of that in my I wrote that article a little bit back that was like why men aren't funny, and there was like a point like towards the end where I said something about like how comedians always like say that they're the modern philosophers, but the problem with comedians is that none of them know how to read. And like I'm expecting like a bunch of well thought out comments and responses from the people that definitely know how to read, because I was like, yeah, I want to throw that in there, sort of thing. I want to do my own version of that,
You're encouraging discourse.
Exactly, yeah.
And so is he.
Which is what a lot of these people think they're doing. Yeah, it's like encouraging discourse, because if it's anything 2016 commentary YouTube showed us is that YouTube will push controversial videos more because more comment wars mean more ad revenue. So
I feel like this is honestly good, like content to mine. I know I'm always thinking of like what would be a good like a video that we do outside of the podcast and whatever. But those types of like rant videos where it's like I can already see the comment, like that's like a good. There's like there's an era and there's a time and there's a certain aesthetic of those types of videos that I feel like people haven't fully like satirized completely, or maybe I'm missing the point, but I feel like the problem with the people that satirize that type of shit is that they go so far down the wormhole that they're not like parodying anything anymore. They're just serious about it.
Grant, if you ever do turn that article into a video essay, you gotta like commission someone to draw a cartoon of you like this, and like who pops up and he's like, I can't believe what they're saying about men, or like whatever part that is like angry. Right. Just play it up and have a cartoon, like, or what do they call it? A rant sona?
Rant sonas, yeah.
Pop up, yeah.
The three poses, the cross arm, with their arm up like this, or them with like their face palm like that. Like those are like the big three poses I always see.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I feel like my idea for those is more so because a lot of them are based on the writings of Ian Svenonius, who was this like punk rock guy, but who would like dress
the
up
original ranter Ransona.
But he would like dress up and wear like suits and have these like weird like pseudo intellectual like discussion series and shit like that, and they were just like wild. And it's like I figure like I always picture that as being like the video version of my writings more so.
Okay, maybe if you do watch this video, kind of maybe it's a takeaway of like, here's what
I'm saying avoid. This would be like a different thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I want to avoid all the trappings that this guy's so thoughtfully laying out for me here.
Exactly.
Does anybody else have a key to the city? You don't have to have one. It's season 2. You're not restricted to it.
I have a key to the city.
Okay.
It is to Zwick, actually. So back to our tech conversation. One other thing,
women are Zwick's favorite guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Ironically.
Well, back to the tech conversation, we were talking about how tech does have its advantages, and one of the biggest advantages now is having entire game libraries into these tiny little things. And for the past few months, Zwick has customized a Miu Mini for me, which is a handheld device that carries multiple different systems. So there's like a whole bunch of NES games in here. I'm playing an NES game right now.
Yeah, I'm looking into getting one of those. Those things look cool as hell.
Yeah, and Zwick just did this out of the kindness of his heart. He got a whole bunch of games for me in here, Super Nintendo games, Virtual Boy games. And that's one of my favorite things about like current tech is just having entire game catalogs just in your hand like this. So this just got in the mail last night. I've already put like 10 hours into it. Been playing a lot of it during the last night in work. So
during the podcast episode.
Yeah, just like down here secretly. But yeah, no, thank you, Zwick. Thank you a lot. I've only had this for a day and I'm already obsessed.
Yeah, he's been really passionate about those. He's in our Discord. Like he should work for these guys. Like because I see him being like, what was it the other day he posted like, if you have a kid and don't want to have them on an iPad, buy them this $20 portable thing. And then like Jim from Drink a Beer and Play Games, like, perhaps. It's like, you are advertising for them for free. You should be doing that, getting paid for that, man. Or he just loves it that much.
Yeah, no, like I didn't ask him to do this. He just knew I had like a slight interest in it and I didn't have a console yet. So yeah, just out of his own volition, just gave all these little games right here. So take that, transparent handheld games. I'm done with your cartridges. Now I got this.
Yeah, but I think that there's certain ones that still have like the transparent purple. I've been like eyeing the RGX 35XX, whatever the fuck.
I was going to Google it, but it sounds like you're making it up.
No, that's legit. Like let me find it. It's like RG35XX, the Anbernic things, because I think it's a little bigger than the Miu.
Oh Mini. Yeah, same company, Anbernic.
Oh, I didn't know. Oh, is that the?
That seems to be the biggest company making these systems right now.
Yeah, because you said Miu, and I think that those are like hard to get a hold of because of like
is the production just like
production?
The supply chain.
The supply chain.
The chips, sir. Nobody can find chips anymore.
I haven't heard the phrase supply chain so much as I have in the past 3. I didn't know that we had a supply chain. And then in 2020, it was all about the supply chain.
Yeah.
Well, that just makes me appreciate this more then. Despite the shortage, I still got one.
Well, I think it's bigger for your hands, so it's probably more comfy.
Oh yeah, I was telling because like the actual Miu is like a little bit like this, but I have gigantic hands, so Zwick got the bigger one for me.
Hell yeah, that's the correct move.
Very thoughtful. I think we also have. Speaking of thoughtful, we have a voicemail we can play here.
Yeah.
By the way, our phone number is 312-788-7361, or you can always send us an audio file to thoughtcopspodcast@gmail.com, or you can always write to us. If you're too shy, you don't want to have your voice played on the episode, just send us a Dear John to our email inbox. I'm only laughing because I saw the fucking Family Guy thing pop up for a split second, but we have it here, folks. Let's listen.
Hey, yeah, I wanted to check in. I know Jab's going to be on the air, and I wanted to see if I can get a scoop from them. I had a couple questions. I'm trying to really nail down the best thing here. I wanted to ask Jab, what's the scoop on toothpaste? I mean, really. I just wanted to see what your thoughts are on this kind of stuff. I want to see if I can be influenced. There's this whole grand thing between choosing different kinds of like flavors, kinds, and everyone has a different opinion. You got like zesty zebra stripes, triple berry tango, and like mint. You got a favorite? And now I'm trying to nail down the best one. So let's talk texture. Are you team gel or team paste?
I actually have.
Some folks appreciate like the glide of gel, like toothpaste surfing, beautiful waves, while others are all about the traditional paste. Really giving their best teeth a good scrubbing. It'd be good to see where you stood on that. And like colors, do they do anything? We got like electric blues, reds, greens. Should I be settling with the basic beige, or should it be more fun? And you can't really ignore this new stuff out here nowadays. Like there's got like freshness strips and like little microplastics. Do you like either of those, or is it just kind of a marketing thing? Thanks, Jab. I can't wait to hear from you. I'll be waiting in the aisle until I hear back. Thanks.
Oh my
Jab,
goodness.
I'm going to let you jump on this one first.
Well, first off, detailed question.
Yeah, first off, I want to say like the build up to that question was like making my mind go to all these different possibilities, and toothpaste was like the last thing. So it worked.
Are you known for being a toothpaste fan?
A toothpaste connoisseur.
I think I talked about how like sometimes I feel bad that I'm a smoker, but I also kind of cancel it out by being a bit obsessed with dental hygiene.
Okay.
Because that was always one of my biggest fears growing up, is like having a bad mouth. So I would always but that's the only thing I can remember talking about toothpaste related. I think for me, toothpaste wise, I'm team paste. And I always get like the whitening ones. Paste. The gel ones don't have as flattering results as paste does, because paste always has more of a burning sensation. Like, do you ever like?
That's how you know it's good.
Yeah, I want my taste buds to be out of service for like the next 2 hours after I brush my teeth, because that means it's burning all the bacteria off. And I always do this test after toothpaste where like after I wash my mouth, I rub my finger on it, and if it squeaks, then that means it's squeaky clean. And whitening paste always seems to work with that more than gel.
Also, like the gel, I think it's like sometimes you put it on the head of the toothbrush, and then you wet the head of the toothbrush, and then it just rolls off into the sink.
Yeah, that
pisses me off so much. I hate when that happens.
You know what I hate? That is that, but like the worst version of that is when you like go to someone's house and they just have like big globs of toothpaste that are just like stuck to their sink, and it's like, you don't fucking like rinse this down the drain. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Dude, my girlfriend does that sometimes, and it drives me fucking crazy.
As far as other things, it's funny because I actually have some stuff in my backpack here, but
you came prepared for this question.
Yeah, I'm getting called out right now, but
is it a tongue scraper?
Yes, it's an Aura brush.
I gotta get one of those.
This is just like a metal tongue scraper thing, just like a aluminum.
I just use like the purple mouthwash that, like, speaking of like,
it's not the same, bro.
Retro. It's like the translucent purple mouthwash. You swish that around, it burns the fuck out of your tongue,
which is a good thing.
Yeah.
You don't do that after you brush, do you?
I was told that it's best to floss, then brush, and then mouthwash.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, so I'm gonna learn y'all on some dental hygiene that I've learned.
If I'm doing it wrong, please tell me.
Well, from what I understand, you're not even supposed to rinse your mouth with water after you brush your teeth, because the fluoride that's in the toothpaste, you're just supposed to spit the toothpaste out and then just like have like a toothpaste mouth.
That's what I do. Yeah. But then mouthwash.
Then you're saying, you use mouthwash after.
Yeah, and I let that linger.
The fluoride off.
But I do hear the flossing first, because when you floss first, you're loosening like the stuff in between your teeth.
Exactly.
And then the brushing just makes it easier to come off.
But apparently, yeah, you're not supposed to like rinse with. You're not supposed to rinse with water. You're not supposed to rinse with mouthwash. You're just supposed to like you brush your teeth and then you spit.
When are you supposed to use mouthwash?
Toothpaste.
Before brushing?
I don't think you're supposed to use mouthwash. But I mean, I could be wrong. But that's my understanding of brushing. And
I don't have dental insurance anymore, so I can't.
I also recently lost my dental insurance because I quit a job that was giving it to me. But,
and you did go to the dentist recently. Was it why? Because you're planning on quitting?
Kind of. Well, yeah. And also just so I could like get that taken care of. But I have a list here of like the best toothpastes, and it's not what you think.
Okay, because I wanted to ask you guys what your favorite brands were.
So I got this up here, and as you can see, this is toothpastes ranked by abrasiveness. And the thing you have to keep in mind is that like you're using this stuff twice a day, every day for the rest of your life. Some of these upper limits of this Colgate 2-in-1 tartar control / whitening, this is an abrasiveness level of 200. You're scraping that across your teeth, you're going to lose your fucking enamel. But look at this Arm & Hammer dental care. That's only 35. You know, you want something that's, I think I use the Pronamel by Sensodyne. Like
I use Sensodyne too. It's a great brand.
Yeah,
Could not recommend it more.
And you're not going to like strip down your teeth's enamel and, you know.
Yeah.
So the left top side is where you want to be.
Yeah, see, I also like the mouthwash I have. It says like it's good for your enamel somehow.
Huh.
So
it's got electrolytes.
I guess so. Yeah, I just fucking drink the stuff, man. Gatorade, Powerade, Listerine, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about mouthwash. I've never really used it, but
Jabber, do you use mouthwash?
Sometimes.
This is really quick. This is one of the best voicemails we've ever gotten. Like I don't think we've ever gotten a voicemail that sparked this much conversation on the show ever.
Yeah.
It's weirdly fitting because I have to brush my teeth 3 times a day just because I'm like wildly insecure of my substance habits with smoking and whatnot. So it's really fitting. As far as mouthwash goes, I just use Colgate and stuff like that.
Okay. So what's your order? Do you floss, brush, mouthwash, or mouthwash, floss, brush?
I floss, brush, tongue scrub, and then mouthwash. Those are my 4.
That's smart. Yeah, because then if you the scraper loosens the stuff off the tongue, then you put the mouthwash over that. This is great stuff, people. This is
I got another pro tip also, and I'm gonna share this on the screen as well. If y'all aren't on the xylitol gum train,
what's up with this.
Let me, I got a scientific study here. I got an article. If you chew gum with the artificial sweetener, and a lot of people go, oh, artificial sweetener, I don't want to put that in my body. But it's like, what else do you eat plastic? We all eat plastic. Shut up about artificial. Everything's artificial. You eat plastic. We all eat and drink plastic. It's in our brains. But xylitol is like, it's a chemical that's similar to sugar. And it draws bacteria to the xylitol, and then it kills the bacteria. And so people that chew xylitol gum have less cavities than people that don't. So this is science.
I do remember a few dentists recommending that to me, but just the idea of all the bacteria in my mouth clumping up to like one like singular ball just like grossed me out too much.
Well, it's not like a ball, but it's like, because that's the problem with like eating too much sugar is like the sugar itself doesn't like rot your teeth. It's the bacteria like attracts to the sugar, and then they like eat down the enamel and whatever. But like what the xylitol does is it pretends to be sugar, and then all the bacteria go, ooh, sugar, ooh, and then they eat it, and then they die, and then you don't have bacteria in your mouth anymore. And then you don't get cavities.
I hope someone listening to this really got something out of this segment. Look, someone heard this and they're like, I'm going to change my life starting tonight.
Well, hey, for that out there, toothbrush wise, I recommend Gleam.
Gleam's
These
a good
toothbrushes are great.
I got one of those. I can't tell if that is or not, Jeb, but I have one of those electric toothbrushes.
Yeah, that's what this is. Like,
which
it's,
I
vibrates.
Yeah, I didn't get on the electric toothbrush train until maybe like 2 or 3 years ago.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
my dentist was like, I hate being shamed by the dentist because that was one of the, I don't know, maybe not the last time, but no, it was one of the times I went to the dentist when I had dental insurance. He's like, "Oh, you don't have an electric toothbrush?" I'm like, no. And he's like, "Okay, well, you better get one. They're like $250 or maybe not that much, but it was pretty expensive.
They're expensive,
more than the dollar toothbrush
like
you can get,
but still pretty expensive for a toothbrush. Yeah,
yeah. I'm used to the fucking like the pack at Target. It's got like 3 for $1. I'm like, how much damage was I doing to myself by using those for so long?
I do think they exaggerate a bit. Dentists just always seem to like be way more judgmental than any doctor ever.
Yeah.
But then, when they do that thing when they scrub like they put that paste on the thing and it's almost like they're giving you a power wash or like they're scrubbing on your teeth like in circles. And then like after that, you feel like how clean your teeth are, and you're like, man, I've been doing it all wrong.
Yeah, it should be that all the time. And I think a big thing with like dental hygiene also is like, obviously it's like we all have mouths, right? And you want it to not look
and I must scream,
awful.
yeah.
But I think another thing too is like if you don't like brush your teeth and shit like properly, like along the line, I think that leads to like heart disease and shit, like all these other diseases from just like the plaque that like builds up in your mouth, then goes into like your stomach, which then goes into your bloodstream and then builds up in your heart, and then you die.
Somebody out there is having a panic attack right now. Oh my god! Oh my god!
One thing I want to get eventually is Steve-O from Jackass was on this GQ series called Essentials, and he showed like this little water pick that like jet shoots water in between your teeth, like kind of like. And when I saw that, I was like, "Fuck, I'm gonna get that. It's $150, but I am gonna get that one day because just to add an additional like safety measure to making sure that." Your mouth is as clean as possible.
I like floss, and I use those little things that like go between your teeth, and then I like anybody have a wire between or behind their bottom row?
Like a retainer thing?
Yeah, I have one of those, so I have to like use one of those like hook things to like get whatever. So I'm essentially flossing 3 times a day. So like I don't think I need a water pick. This is too much. This is too involved at this point.
Speaking of involved, go ahead, Jeb. One last. I think we can close out the teeth part of the show.
Next time we'll just talk about this the whole time.
We could do a whole episode. This should be the show.
Well, I'll just say real quick, going back to Grant, like this is a fake tooth right here. I was born without this tooth. So yeah, much like Grant, because we have fake stuff in our mouth, it does require more maintenance. So I guess that just kind of becomes a normal thing.
Well, that was an amazing voicemail and prompted such wonderful discussion.
That was like a 10-minute debate. I like the
next week if somebody could just call in and like ask what our favorite color is or something. We could really go off.
Someone figure out the disagreement with the mouthwash thing, because I need to know.
Yeah, I want to know.
I always had heard like that it's basically useless, but I don't know.
I mean, if it's useless, I don't want to keep buying it, but I feel like it's doing something. I don't want to have a heart attack.
I mean, I think the bigger problem was when it like most mouthwashes used to have alcohol in them, and then people would say, well, like don't do that because it just dries out like your mouth, and then that makes it worse for cavities and shit. But
312-788-7361, or you can send us an audio file or an email to thoughtcopspodcast@gmail.com.
Ask us about our hair care routines. I have opinions.
Oh, we could go on that too. Yeah, that'd be great. Really quick, I want to mention patreon.com/thoughtcops. It's probably going to be up by the time this episode's up, but we had an excellent conversation about the movie Oppenheimer with our friend Josh, aka Sleep Science. We all saw Oppenheimer together. We talked about what the seats at the theater were like, what happened in the bathroom. There was a bathroom story. I'm not going to spoil it, but something happened to me. Something horrible happened to me at the bathroom at the movie theater.
Was it Skibidi toilet related?
Not that scary, but it was a little bit invasive, and you got to listen to the episode to find out. Patreon.com/thoughtcops. We also talk about the movie Oppenheimer. Check that out. But yeah, Jab, thank you so much for coming on the show. If you can let everybody know where they can find all your wonderful stuff on the computer or phone.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me on again. Same as usual. Jab50N everywhere. Jab50N on Twitter. Jab50N on you. Oh, I'm fuck. Shit.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, maybe by the time this episode's out, the channel will be back up. Hopefully, Markiplier could come through for you.
Yeah. Hashtag free jab. Yeah.
Everybody tweet at Markiplier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eventually, I might just have to make a new channel and make a video explaining it. But until then, I'm Jab50N everywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter is probably going to be the main place I'm at until my YouTube comes back. But in the meantime, twitch.tv/Funny Rave. We are Funnier Rave on Twitter because our first one got banned. I think I talked about that in the last episode.
Yeah.
So that's where y'all can find me. Have very hyper fixated conversations with me on Twitter, please. I enjoy it. And yeah, thanks again for having me. I always love
anytime.
Yeah, anytime.
Yeah. Well, not literally anytime. Like probably like a little bit after this comes out.
Yeah,
like
after we like stop recording, I don't want you back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to sleep after this.
Yeah, gosh, I do have stuff to do. I want to watch more of that guy's videos.
Call and leave a voicemail about sleep hygiene. I want to talk about that too.
Yeah, you know what? There's so much like great conversation. Like that just like goes to show, like what Asterios was saying. He's like, "You guys are interesting." I'm like, "No, no." But then like, look at how much we have to say. Like I feel like so much of my life is spent going down like rabbit holes of like when I was looking into what kind of toothbrush to buy and everything like that. I'm like, I spent so long researching it
on like wire cutter and shit, and just like I need the perfect toothbrush.
Yeah, and now I finally have an outlet to share all this knowledge I've gained. So ask us. We're an open book.
It's what every white dude wants: an outlet to share all the knowledge. Finally, nobody wanted to listen, but now we're podcasting, so.
And yeah, patreon.com/thoughtcops. Check that out too. And thank you again, Jab, for being on the show. Thank you, Grant, for doing this wonderful show with me. We'll see you on the other side.
See you, Space Cop.
Check out Skibidi Toilet.